so here we're going to give you a history lesson on makeup. So let's get your history books out and start learning. So the basic history of stage makeup was in the very early Roman Greek times. They were very specific about carved masks, and they were worn to portray characters. And with these masks was a tiny little megaphone that they put in there so that the audience could see the character and actually hear what the actor was saying. And different masks were actually familiar to the audience for the different characters that were always played. In the 1800s, they started to bring in basic methods such as chalk from the kabuki theatres in Japan. Now, if you've seen one of my videos on Instagram before, I've given you a fun gross fact about the meaning ham it up. Literally ham it up. They used to use the mutton fat or the rinds and put this all over your face. They'd mix it up with chalks and powders to create the right shade, close enough to their foundation colour. Thank goodness more sophisticated products were created. By the early 20th century, going back far, there weren't that many cosmetics out there on the market. But in some of the costume supply houses, as they used to be called, you could find a few makeup products. Foundation bases were sold in rather large sticks, and these were called grease paint. This used to be applied by streaking it down the face and the body. Then you used to dip your fingers in water and then spread that all over your skin. There was shading and highlighting tone that used to be used to contour the face, and then they used to use a very big heavy powder to set all of this into place. And nowadays we have beautiful products like micellar water and everything, or beautiful oils to remove our makeup. Guess how they used to remove that makeup? It's pretty thick. They used to use a brush. Ouch! Dry cake rouge, that blush, that was then applied over their face. Eyeshadow was applied by artist stumps. They used to use orange wood sticks to scrape out thin little powders and apply that to the eyes. Then to put mascara on, they would use like a toothpick, an orange wood stick, a little bit thicker than a toothpick, that they would carefully coat their what was called cosmétique. It was a waxy stick component in a metal tube, available in like black and brown and white colours, that was applied with a toothpick. Then the product had to be melted in a teaspoon and was often used for character work. The overall look was really heavy and quite dense. Back then though, the lighting was way more harsh than it is now, so they actually did look quite natural from stage. They might look a bit scary close up though. In order to do a good job of stage, the makeup artist, or who was ever looking after all of the actors and theatre performers on stage, would have to take everything into consideration. They had to have knowledge of the theatre planning and how it all was set up. The scene designs and the stage lighting also was helpful. The stage makeup artist had to take into consideration that about 40 feet away from the stage, the face starts to lose all of its shapes. So the makeup has to be quite strong for that distance. The makeup had to be applied for the ideal viewing of about rows 5 to 6 from the orchestra pit. So they had the stage and then the orchestra, and then rows 5 and 6 were where the important people sat, all the newspaper editors. So all of those people that were sitting in the first, second and third rows, they really saw some heavy makeup on those performers. Makeup back then was more on the ruddy side, so that's more of the pink side, whereas today we're talking about more warmth on your face. So we're matching your skin if you're more olived and tanned or darker skinned. And then if you're a little bit more paler, we're going for that warmer shade or that color that's not quite right. But back then it was quite pinkish. Before the Edwardian and Victorian eras, and you can look those ones up, oil lights and the gas dimmer lights were the lights that were used in all of the theatres. In the 1800s, that's when the carbon lighting started to come in. I want you to picture now at the theatre around 20 men on one side and 20 on the other. So there was 40 men stationed around the theatre to work on the lighting, on the dimming and getting everything just right. Learning about stage makeup and the history is really, really important. And knowing the difference between stage makeup and film makeup is also important. A lot of the pictures and the videos that you see on like YouTube or the tutorials are great for if you're working on screen and wanting to be on screen with your makeup, or if you're going out and meeting somebody face to face. If you're doing your makeup for stage, we're not going as heavy as they used to back in the eras then, but we're certainly not having our makeup looking so beautiful and blended and glam as we would if we are just dancing normally in front of somebody. So it's really important still now for you as a dancer and a makeup artist, unless you're lucky enough to be in a production where you have the makeup artist. But nowadays, even if you get a contract, you might get an artist to come in and teach you how to do that look, especially if you get hired for something like Cirque du Soleil, that you will be taught how to do your makeup. And then before your performance, it can take 2 to 4 hours to do that look yourself, and you're expected to do that look and learn how to do it right. And so it is seen from a big array of audience, or if your performance is going to be filmed. So working on a dancer on a video film clip set or on stage or on a cruise ship in front of somebody is very different from each other. So I hope that's been helpful and gets you intrigued to practice your makeup differently. I have a few tutorials coming out on all the different looks, but for now, if you practice your stage makeup look, you can check back on the link on one of the videos that I've got that you can practice. And from then, you can start to experiment different looks. This way, you're going to be a smarter, more educated dancer. And if you're going to become a performer and go into the industry, it's really important that you know and understand all the differences that your makeup is, and that you're not just being influenced on how to do glamour makeup for something that would be on Instagram or social media, Facebook or YouTube. So knowing exactly how to do your look and different variations and depth of your makeup is really vital and important in becoming the best artist that you can be. Makeup to show you, I have lots that I can bring up for you, but back in the olden days, as we used to say, makeup was actually really beautiful. So this is a lovely compact. I've collected some of the old memorabilia, and I'm a dancer, so I like the dancing ones. They're so pretty. They're really, really pretty. It's a shame that it's not like that now. You'd have your mirror with your little powder puff, and then it opens up. This is all nice metal, and it has a little veil that you would have an area for your product. Your powder came in a little bag, which was paper. You would empty all of your product into here and then press that down, and through this little sieve, so it's like a little mesh cheesecloth here, then you would be able to get your powder out from there and use your mirror and come back. So they're really beautiful and nice little collectors, and I wish they did that now. I know some of the makeup, it all comes in different things, but this is beautiful and metal, and it's obviously lasted a very long time. Another one that I collected came in a cute little picnic basket, and it's a little clip. You would little clip into here, and your product would then come out. The mirror is a little bit loose here, but it has a cute little powder puff as well, and that had the area that you would put all of your makeup in as well. So that's really, really cute. It's just another little one here, and another little ballerina one that had another product. Some other items I have, just if you are a history buff, is how the lipstick used to come. So this is a tiny little metal tube here, and your lipstick used to come in here in the center, and you would just push up your lipstick as it was coming to the end, like our little twist tops. This was just a nice little one, and that's just a metal little clip container. Another little metal one here is a beautiful little square one, and that was the same thing. So the lipstick would come in here. This has still got some red in it, actually, very old, and I'm sure it's got lead in it, how makeup used to have it. And this one you would push up as well on the top, and a nice little gold ones that used to come in these little metal containers. And I think I'm not sure if they would keep these or it would all get thrown away and recycled, but they're very pretty. Another beautiful item that they used to have is where they put their powder puffs. So this is porcelain, and this is quite old as well. They used to get the powder in a little paper bag and then open that up and dip that into the holder inside here. And as they were putting their makeup on, this was very calming for them, and it was like their little ritual. And I think then that's where this came from. So you would take, this is a lovely little dress one. She's a gorgeous little porcelain holder here. I don't use it, but I've got this here to show all of my students about the history of makeup. And then when they took that off, it made a lovely tune. So the tune's dying a little bit, but I'm sure it used to be very pretty. And it's nice to think maybe somebody quite a long time ago might have been putting their makeup on with this and getting ready for perhaps a performance, or maybe they were a dancer. And here are the little paper bags that used to come with the powder and foundation. This one has a 20-cent stamp on it, and it's quite old. If anybody can read that language and that writing, you can tell me what that says. That's some lovely information. And then bobby pins. As a dancer, we always have lots of bobby pins around everywhere, and this is a pack here of bobby pins. It's 30 bobby pins for 10 cents. Don't know if you can see that there, but that was the brand back then, and that's in a protected little packet of history for makeup. So I hope that's been a little bit fun and educational for you with your makeup lesson today, and that you can go out and teach your fellow dancers some more things about stage makeup. If that was helpful, I'd love for you to like and comment and subscribe, share with your friends, and I can't wait to see all of your pictures.